Elections have consequences for sure. We're living that. So vote, vote, vote. Yeah, first of all, I go way back with Atlantik-Brücke. I met this organization 33 years ago, this spring. And I have enormous regard for Atlantik-Brücke through all of those years, both as a private citizen banker in Frankfurt, then as an ambassador in Germany, and then as governor of New Jersey. So it's an organization I have deep respect for and a lot of personal history with. I don't think you can look at the world today and ignore the fact that subnational relationships are more important than ever before, particularly at a time of enormous turmoil, a lot of it caused by the United States, admittedly, and institutions being shaken, whether it's NATO, the European Union, transatlantic bridge, Western Hemisphere, internal strife as we have right now in America. You have to come back to a conclusion affirmatively that subnational relationships matter more than ever before. In America, governors matter more than ever, mayors matter more than ever, and that certainly is true in Europe, and I think it is also true as it relates to the transatlantic relationships. So whether it was my time as ambassador, as governor, or now for 2 weeks as a private citizen, it's hard to ignore that these relationships are incredibly important. And our time in Berlin was extremely meaningful in developing that conclusion. Listen, New Jersey is the ultimate innovation economy. So we invented the light bulb, we invented film, we invented the transistor radio. All of that was done in New Jersey. And today we continue to be a major player in the innovation economy. I think we're the quintessential innovation economy. And that includes tech, telecom, bio, pharma, life sciences, increasingly generative artificial intelligence, the green economy, fintech, and certainly film, television, digital. And when you talk about film and television, you think of the relationship between the US and New Jersey specifically, and Berlin and Greater Berlin, and in the whole heritage and history here. I think there's enormous upside in deepening those relationships. I think the US right now is unquestionably ahead of Europe as it relates to tech, telecom, the innovation economy. That does not mean, however, that Europe cannot catch up. I would worry here about overregulation. Artificial intelligence is probably the best, most recent example. On film and television, you have to have financial incentives in place. That's just a part of the industry. And then obviously cultivating talent. I worry on the US side that the current federal administration is pushing talent away from the US, which I think is stupid, but that's what is happening. That is an opportunity, I would think, for Europe, Germany in particular, given Germany is the quintessential innovation engineering economy. I would think that's a big opportunity at our expense to pick up talent and to further spur innovation here. What we're seeing in Minneapolis is frankly tragic. I would argue un-American. It's not even the way that we normally police, never mind the loss of innocent life. And there is rightfully right now an outrage in America across the entire spectrum, including from gun owners to moderate, sensible Republicans, independents, and certainly Democrats, who are screaming out. They're looking at images, they see with their own eyes, and they hear this series of lies and misstatements about what you can see with your own eyes is happening. Again, I don't think governors, in this case Tim Walz, who's a dear friend and outstanding governor in Minnesota, or the mayor in Minneapolis, I think those are two great examples where those positions right now really matter. I know in New Jersey, Every single day you woke up trying to get the balance right between protecting communities, protecting individuals, defending values on the one hand, and fighting, and on the other hand, trying to be as balanced as possible so as not to bring the full force of what's happening in Minneapolis into New Jersey. That was a daily struggle so far. While ICE is in New Jersey, it's not nearly in New Jersey at the scale that it is in Minneapolis. But again, it emphasizes the subnational, the governors, the mayors, the elected officials at all levels are now more important than ever. I think you ask as well, what can the ordinary citizen do? Well, elections have consequences for sure. We're living that. So vote, vote, vote. Protest peacefully, always peacefully. Stand up and speak. Don't take this lying down, if you will. Don't turn your back on it. Find some good that could come out of this. Embracing neighbors, particularly neighbors who are really scared and worried about their own future. So there's something I think that all of us can do. And I pray that the federal government and the president himself finds an opportunity here to turn the page and realize that Americans want the border secure, but they didn't sign up for attacking innocent individuals resident in Minneapolis or other places in America. That's not the America they signed up for. That's not the Trump administration, frankly, they signed up for. It's very different to say you close the borders than it is you're attacking innocent people in cities. America doesn't want that, and folks need to stand up and make sure their voice is heard.